are gathered here to fill you with fear and give you a treat for your ears. As we invade your mind with our scary rhymes and some tales that can be gory. As you bear witness and sit here and listen to our poetic horror stories. Hello, P.H.S crew. We have a new creepypasta for you. The retelling of Cove, a creepy childhood show. This story takes place in a nostalgia form, where the posters share their recollection of the creepy and weird kids show. Hello. Does anyone remember this kids show? It was called Cove. I must have been 6 or 7 when I watched it. I never found reference to it anywhere. I think it was on a local station around 1971 or 1972. I lived in Ironton at the time, but I don't remember which station. I do remember it was on at a weird time, like 4 p.m.
It seems really familiar to me. I grew up outside of Ashland and was 9 years old in 72. Cove. Was it a pirate show? I remember a pirate marionette at the mouth of a cave talking to a little girl.
Yes. Okay, I'm not crazy. I remember Pirate Percy was his name. I was always kind of scared of him. He looked like he was built from parts of other dolls. Real low budget. His head was an old porcelain baby doll. Looked like an antique that didn't belong. I don't remember what station this was. I don't think it was WTSF though.
Sorry to resurrect this old thread, but I know exactly what you mean. Sky Show. I think Cove ran for only a couple of months in 71, not 72. I was 12 years old, and I watched it a few times with my brother. It was channel 58, whatever channel it was. My mom would let me switch to it after the news. Let me see what I remember. The show took place in Cove, and it was about a little girl. She imagined herself to be friends with pirates, and there was a pirate ship called the Laughingstock. Pirate Percy wasn't a very good pirate because he got scared very easily, and there was calliope music constantly playing. I don't remember the little girl's name. Janice? Jade? Or something. I think it was Janice.
Thank you, Jaren. Memories flooded back when you mentioned the Laughingstock in Channel 58. I remember the bow of the ship was a wooden smiling face, with the lower jaw submerged in the water. It looked like it was swallowing the sea, and it had an awful Edwin voice and laugh. I especially remember how jarring it was when they switched from the wooden/plastic model to foam puppet version of the head that talked.
I remember now too. Do you remember this part, Sky Show? You have to go inside.
Mike, I got chills reading that. Yes, I remember. That's what the ship always told Percy when there was a spooky place he had to go in. Like a cave or a dark room where there was treasure, and the camera will push in on Laughingstock's face with each pause. You have to go inside. With his 2 askew eyes, that flopping foam jaw opening and closing, being controlled by the fishing line. Ugh, it just looks so cheap and awful. Do you guys remember the villain? He had a face that was just a handlebar mustache, above really tall, narrow teeth.
Hello P.H.S crew, we have a question for you. What is your favourite childhood show from when you were young? Let's start a conversation in the comments below. We are dying to know.
I honestly thought the villain was Pirate Percy. I was about 5 when the show was on. Nightmare fuel. That wasn't the villain. The puppet with the mustache? That was the villain's sidekick. Horace Horrible. He had a monocle also, but it was on top of the mustache. I used to think that meant he had only one eye. But yeah, the villain was another marionette. The Skin Taker. I can't believe what they let us watch back then. Jesus H. Christ, the Skin Taker. I remember. What kind of a kid show were we watching? I seriously could not look at the screen when the Skin Taker showed up on my TV. He would just descend out of nowhere on his strings. A dirty skeleton. He was wearing a brown top hat and cape with his glass eyes that were too big for his skull head. Christ almighty.
Wasn't his top hat and cloak all sewn up crazily? Was that supposed to be children's skin?
Yeah, I think so. Remember his mouth didn't open and close? His jaw just slid back and forth. I remember the little girl said, "Why does your mouth move like that?" The Skin Taker didn't look at the girl, but instead he looked at the camera and said, "To grind your skin."
It's quiet, and I can hear the creaking of my floor. I'm too afraid to make a move, and I'm not sure just what to do. Should I call 911 and ask for help? Would they get here in time before my death? I'm thinking too much. I'm probably just fine. Until I hear something fall over. Now this is a crime.
My name is Erin, and she taught.
I'm so relieved that other people remember this terrible show. I used to have this awful memory, a bad dream. I remember the opening jingle ended, the show faded in from black, and all the characters were there. The camera was just cutting to each of their faces, and they were just screaming. The puppets and marionettes were flailing spastically and just all screaming and screaming. The girl was just moaning and crying like she had been through hours of this. I woke up many times from that nightmare. I used to wet the bed when I had it.
I don't think that was a dream. I remember that. I remember that was an episode.
No, not possible. There was no plot or anything. I mean, literally the whole show is just them all standing in place crying and screaming.
Maybe I'm manufacturing the memory because you said that? But I swear to God I remember seeing what you described. They just screamed. Oh God. Yes, the little girl Janice. I remember seeing her shaking. And the Skin Taker screaming through his gnashing teeth, his jaw creaming. So wildly I thought it would come off his wire hinges. I turned the show off, and it was the last time I watched Cove. I ran to tell my brother, and we didn't have the courage to turn the TV back on.
I visited my mom today at the nursing home. I asked her about when I was little, in the early 70s, when I was 8 or 9, and if she remembered a kid's show, Cove. She said yes. She was surprised I could remember that show. I was surprised and asked her why. She said because she used to think it was strange that I said I'm gonna go watch Candle Cove now, Mom. Then I would tune the TV to static and just watch dead air for 30 minutes. She then looked at me and said, "You had a big imagination with your little Candle Cove pirate show."
We hope you enjoyed our retelling of the Candle Cove Creepypasta story. If you are enjoying this series, then please like, share, and comment. And if you're new, please subscribe and become a part of the P.H.S crew. And if you have a creepypasta you'd like for us to read, let us know in the comments below. We appreciate and thank you all, and we will see you in our next video.